Hi, my name is Michaela, and today I will be giving you 6 different reasons why I left Christianity. Warning, this material may offend many people. Disclaimer, this is just my story. I do not say that all churches are this way. I do not think that every church operates this way. I do not want you to be going to these churches and knocking down doors, and that's not my goal. Okay, my goal is just to share my story and what I went through in my experience with church. So the first reason why I left the church was there was this motto of stay. If you left the church, you were bad and the devil was in you. If you skipped one Sunday, you were a bad Christian. I just felt like there was this shame associated with not showing up to church. And I mean, if you really think about it, love, if that's what they truly believe in, shouldn't have to convince somebody to stay. Isolation is not bad. Let's get that straight first. Isolation is not bad. Okay. But the church made it out to be very bad, because when you isolate yourself, you find out that you have your own desires. You have your own thoughts that the church is not involved in. I actually want to share a story real quick about my friend. Let's call her Stephanie. So I had this friend, Stephanie. She was actually my mentor. We were really close. We would do random activities together. I even helped her build like this tree house. It was really freaking awesome. She was a really cool person. Then randomly I told her, hey, I don't really plan on going to church anymore. And she completely disowned me. That's like one of my closest church relationships that I had, and they don't even talk to me anymore because I just don't go to church. And that just goes to show like really who your real friends are. If real friends truly loved you, they wouldn't love you for your opinions. They wouldn't love you for your political views. They love you because you're important to them. My second reason for leaving the church was that they profited off of my creativity. Yes. So I was one of those worship people. I was up there on stage singing, even dancing. I was out there. Definitely brainwashed. They had me convinced that I was going to be making money. When you're there in the church for so long, you just think like, oh my God, eventually one day I'm going to get a job here. It's just hard not to dream about those things when you're involved in a community and you have these creative gifts and this community is telling you, use your gifts for God. At 15 years old, I believed them. What am I going to do at 15 years old? I was like, okay, so I went on the worship team. I sang my heart out and never got paid. Yeah, they owe me. They owe me. And I just want to preface and say, this is not just with music. They do this with artists and dancers and sound equipment people. They'll have painters come in and then they'll sell those paintings and take a portion of the profits of those paintings. How terrible is that? And then the sound equipment people, they come in. Like, creativity is just robbed that way in church. So the third reason that I left church was that they never talked about greed. Ever. They never talked about the sin of greed. I find that kind of ironic because, the church is always talking about sin. So it's just really interesting to me that they talk about lust, gluttony, but they don't really talk about greed. Don't you think that there's a big red flag there? I think the reason they don't talk about greed is because they're probably really greedy. I just didn't believe in the whole tithing 10%. I feel like the church operates as a business. If you're going to pay the church money, it should go somewhere, right? That's going to lead me to this next topic, okay? It still blows my mind that many churches in America still do this today. It's just completely inappropriate. That is rebranding over giving. When I say that, I mean literally churches that will just change their name, They'll change their whole brand. That's changing a new logo, which costs money. Changing the colors of the building, floors, thousands of dollars worth of remodeling a church. That blows my mind. When churches rebrand entirely, that isn't needed. You know, like you could just give all of that money back to your community. You don't need to revamp your church. You don't need better sound equipment, honestly. If you want good music and good worship, like employ people. You're not going to need the equipment if you have great singers, if you have great musicians. You know, you don't need all that shit. Sorry. You just don't need it. This next topic is topic number 5, and it's hypocrisy when it comes to purity. Yeah. And for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with watching porn. As long as it's not child porn and it's not illegal porn. And I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing sexual desires or expressing sexual desires for the same sex. And I think Christianity just shames that and categorizes all of that, and that's evil. Evil. It's just evil. I laugh because I just think it's hilarious. Sex isn't evil. There's this argument too that a lot of Christians will say within the church. They'll say sex isn't evil if it's after marriage, and that's bullshit. I just think like it's your body, you can do what you want with it as long as you're not harming yourself or others. Dude, I held on to my virginity for so fucking long because the church told me to. There was all of this buildup to be a virgin. It was such a huge part of my identity. My last reason, which is my most important reason. I know I say all of my reasons are important, but this one is that isolation is bad. It's just bad. That was one of the mottos of the church that I went to. And let me tell you, I know we talked about this in the beginning, but isolation is not bad, because when you isolate yourself and you set time aside for yourself to just be quiet and stillness, oftentimes you'll realize that you have your own personal desires and wants and needs from your soul that are really beautiful and unique and personal to every individual. And the church is telling you that that's bad, that you should want what God wants. And if you don't want what God wants and do it for His glory and not your own, then you're bad. Then you're bad. I just want to say, if you are in church right now and you feel all of the shame that I just talked about in this video, I would love to encourage you to please message me. I would love to talk with you, or you can comment down below in the comment section. You are definitely not alone. There's a lot of people in the same boat as you. Leave the church. You don't have to go. Do what you love with no shame. No shame. You owe it to yourself. Thanks for watching.